Let's make it. But step into the future, no limits in sight. Click, create, and watch dreams take flight. From a spark to a vision, let's make it grow. With WordPress AI, yeah, you're in control. No coding, no fear. We learn, we build, we persevere. Step by step, watch the magic unfold. Your success story is waiting to be told. Rise up, don't hold back. Dream it, build it, stay on track. Adding tech design and digital might. Turn your passion into life. From zero to pro, we're breaking through. Building websites, AI tools too. Marketing strong, content that shines. Every click, a step toward new heights. Connect, inspire, never stop. With every lesson, reach the top. Your future's calling, hear the sound. George Digital's where skills are found. Keep pushing, keep growing. The digital world is yours, keep going. Keep pushing, digital world is yours, keep going.
Hello everyone, we are now live. So welcome to this live stream. So today we'll be looking at how to create WordPress website. So let's take a little bit of WordPress, a little presentation. And from this presentation, we'll be going into the main tutorial for today. So, introduction to WordPress web design. So let's look at what WordPress is and what we'll be needing for building a WordPress website. So, first of all, WordPress is a So WordPress is a platform that allows you to build your website without coding. So WordPress is a no-code platform you can use in building your website. So one of the things I want you guys to take note of is in building a website, there are several things you need for you to be able to build a WordPress website. One of them is called a domain. The next is called a hosting. Now, a domain is your website address on the internet, like example.com, youtube.com, google.com, facebook.com. All those are a domain name. So the address someone will type or search for him or her to use in visiting your website is called a domain. Now, the next thing is the hosting. The hosting is the online server or the space where your website files are stored. So all the your website data are stored is stored in your domain. So the domain gives you, sorry, the hosting gives you the ability to store all the files like pictures, images, all of them on your website on it. And it's a 24-hour something that is always online. Now, choosing the right domain and hosting. Now, for us to build our website, we need a domain and hosting. So how do we get to know which of them, what is the right domain for us? Now, since we say the domain is that address people use in entering, so I would recommend that you use a brand name for your domain. So it means your brand should be represented in your domain. Like my brand is George, so I use georgedigitals.com, right? So I'm supposed to have something that will capture that my brand name. Now, the next thing I want you guys to take note of is there are certain steps we will be following today. Like we'll be looking at how to get a domain, connect it, and all those things here. So let's dive into the video for today and let's see how to get all these things and build our website. So we'll be going to our hosting platform. Okay, so let's look at that, our hosting platform. So the hosting platform I'm using is Hostinger. So Hostinger is one of the hosting platform I'm using. And since it's one of the hosting platform I'm using, what I normally do is I will recommend this, and I will also drop the link in the description. So before I go into building this, I want to just show you guys a sample of the kind of website we'll be building for today. So let me show you the sample website we'll be building, what we want to achieve today, so that as we are on it, I'll now go and show you everything. So this is what we'll be building today, this kind of website. So we'll look at everything you're seeing here. We'll build something like this today. All this we are going to be building today. So just this is a sample of what we'll be building. It has home, the pages, and the rest. So we'll look at how to build it from the beginning to the end, right? So now let's go into the hosting. Now the hosting is the place where we'll be building all the stuff on. So the WordPress stuff on. Now we would buy a domain and we'll also buy the hosting. But since I've already gotten the domain and the hosting, what I'll be doing is I'll be using a subdomain. Now, what is a subdomain? What is a subdomain? A subdomain is a subdivision of your main domain that function as a separate website while still being part of the primary domain. It is often used to organize different sections of a website or to create unique experience without purchasing a new domain. So this is what a subdomain is. So let's look at how to do that. So this is a subdomain. Now the subdomain is what we'll be using today. So now on my dashboard, if you look at this, let me come back to my home page on Hostinger. So once I go back to my home page, I'll scroll down. Once I scroll down, I'll click on this, my left-hand side here. I'll click on domain. So I'll click on domain portfolio. This will show me all the domain I have. So what I'll do is I'll click on this place you see manage website, since I want to create a subdomain. Now on my left hand side, I'll scroll down to domain, I'll click on it, and I'll click on this place you see subdomain. Now a subdomain can be, now a subdomain always attached with the main domain. A subdomain is always attached to the main domain. So it means that on this place you are seeing, have, let's say I say tutorial. So tutorial.glossify.com. So that's how it's going to be. Then I'll click on this place you see create. So once I click on create, immediately you will see I have a subdomain. So once I go to website, hello, can you guys hear me? Hello, can you guys hear me? So what you need to do, once you have created this subdomain, so you just come back to website and click on website links. Then you see the name of the domain and click on dashboard. So once you click on dashboard, so the next thing is for us to install WordPress on it. So how do we install WordPress on it? So this one is the one I already have, Glossify. So what I want to do is I want to install on the domain I already have, the subdomain. So what I need to do is I'll go back to my subdomain under here, subdomain. Once I look at my subdomain, so this is what I already have as my subdomain. I'll copy this URL. Then I'll come back to my home. So once I go back to my home on my Hostinger platform, so once I go back to my home, I'll come back to this place. You see website list. So I'll click on these three dots. So if I click on this, at the main point, this is what you will see. So there is nothing on it. Now, what you need to do is just click on this place so that we can install WordPress on it. So let's come back here. So once you install WordPress on this domain, just click on this place. You see dashboard. Scroll down. On your left-hand side, scroll down. So click on Auto Installer from your website. Click on WordPress. Once you click on WordPress, so you put your website title. So the title can be tutorial. So once you click on that, you also have to put your admin password. So let me just pick one of my password here. Then you can go to the advanced and also select the file path, which is this. So this is the file path I'm selecting. Then I'll click on this place you see. Then once I click on it, it will come with all this, and what I want, I'll just click on install. So once I click on install, I will wait for a little while. So just close this. So now the next thing you need to do, on your right hand side, just click on this admin. So WordPress admin. So we have installed it on our subdomain. So take note, what you need to see here at the top, you see tutorial.com/glossify, tutorial.glossify.com. So this is our subdomain. Now we have installed WordPress. We've installed WordPress successfully. Now this will now take us to what I'll call installing plugins and also installing some themes. So we'll be installing plugins and also we'll be installing some themes. Now what we need to do on our right hand side, sorry, on our left hand side, you come here to this place, you see appearance. But before I start installing anything here, I will have to explain what is a theme and also what a plugin is. Now, what is a theme? A theme is what control the look and the feel of our WordPress website. The themes control the look and the feel of our WordPress website, while plugins are what add extra functionality to our WordPress website. So once you click on appearance, we click on appearance. Now we have to install this theme, and the name of this theme is called Astra. So we'll be installing a theme. How do we install a theme? Once we click on appearance, it takes us to themes. From themes, we click on add new themes. So once we click on add new themes, then at the top here, we can now search for Astra. So once we search for Astra, the first one you see here, click on install. So once we install this will now enable us to build the website we want to build. So after we install, the next thing is for us to activate. Now, once we activate, there are some certain plugins we need to install. There are some certain plugins we need to install. And I told you that a plugin is what adds extra functionality to our WordPress website. So you come to this place, you see plugins. So everything we'll be doing in this tutorial, we'll be building from scratch. So once you go to plugins, you click on add new. Hover your mouse on plugins, then click on add new. So once you click on add new, you come here and search. So what I want us to search for is we'll search for Elementor. So Elementor is a page builder that we use in building websites on WordPress. So we'll click on this one, you click on install here. And also I want us to also install this Royal Elementor add-ons. It's an add-on that helps us to have more features on Elementor page builder. So once we click on that, the next thing we want to do also, we want to click on this place you see Elementor Element Kits Elementor add-on. So click on install. So once you click on install on that place, what I want you guys to do is once you have clicked on install, now I want to activate all of them. So I'll just come back to this place you see installed plugins. I'll click on that. So once I click on install plugin, I'll scroll down. There's a place where you see bulk action. So just click on this box a little, select it, then click on this bulk action, click on activate. So once you click on activate, just scroll down and click on apply. So I make sure that everything is selected, then I will click on apply. So once I click on apply, all the stuff I need is now activated. All the plugins I need are activated. So since they are activated, the next thing I need to do is now go and look at how to build the page, how to build the website. So what I will need is I'll need a page. So I'll come here and click on this place you see all pages. So once I click on all pages, it will show me the pages I have. Now I have a page called privacy policy, right? So I'll click on this top here where you see add new page. So once I click on add new page, I'll give this page a title. Now, if I want this page to be my home page, I can give it that title home page. Now, for the purpose of SEO, I will advise that instead of giving your home page home, you can give it an SEO title. For instance, let's say I'm a digital marketing agency. I can call this page digital marketing agency. I can call this page digital marketing agency. Then once I do that, I'll click on this top publish, then I'll click on publish again. So once I click on publish again, I'll click on this place you see edit with Elementor in blue. So once we click on edit with Elementor in blue, it will now take us to the Elementor page builder. To take us to the Elementor page builder. Now the Elementor page builder So this is the Elementor page builder. So I'll just click on close here at the top. Now, there's something I want to let you guys know before I go on. So there's something I want you guys to take note of before I go on. So this is our tutorial, which is our website name. And this is the page we just created, Digital Marketing Agency. Now, what I want to tell you is that there are things that are called elements that you see on your left-hand side, which is called elements. So elements, because we are using Elementor, they call them elements, or we can call them widgets, right? So those are the things we'll be using in building on this Elementor page builder. So everything you see here is you can drag and drop anything you want. So basically, most of the things we'll be using here in this tutorial is we'll be making use of the container, because the container is the house that will house everything inside it. So we'll be making use of the container. So the container is what we'll be making use of here. So I'll just click here, I'll drag the container and drop here. So I'll drop the container there. So once I drop the container there, I can start building. So let me just show you a sample of what I mean, and let me close this structure. I'll be making use of it later on. So once I drag this container, let's say I want to add a text, I'll click on this plus at the top. Once I click on this plus at the top, I'll come here, scroll down and look for images. I can put images here. I'll click on this plus, click on select file. Then I can now add the image I want to add. Let's say I want to add this image. I can now add this image. So once I select the image, I'll just click on this place, you see select. So you see this image has been added, right? Now if I want to add a text, I'll just click on this plus. Then I can just drag this text. I can put it at the top. Then I can come here and say, hello, people. Now, once I do that, this place you see, take note of this. I just want to say this before I go on. Now, if you look at this place, you see it has a content, a style, and advanced. So once you go to the content, this is where you put your majorly the write-up or anything you want to put on the content area. Then the style is where you will beautify or change the color or the font. Since this is a test, so once you come to this place, I can align it to the middle. I can come to this place in typography. I can come down under the typography to family. I can now change the type of font I want. Let's say I want to use Poppins. I'll just write Poppins here. I'll just select this Poppins. Now I can also decide to change the size, maybe to like 50, right? I can also scroll down and make it bolder by going to weight and say, let's say I want it to be 700. I can also say I want to change to uppercase. I can also change the style and also the design. Let's say I want it to have an underline, right? So then I'll click back on this pencil. So let's say I want to change the color. I'll just click on this place you see, text color, and change it to maybe black. So this is how we can go about this, right? So this is how we can go about this. Then also I can go to the advanced. I can add spacing inside this container, which is called the padding. So once I unlink the padding, I can say at the top, I want it to have maybe 40, you see. So I've increased the spacing within this container. So this is just like a sample of all we'll be doing. So I will be deleting this, then we'll be building the main website from now on. So I'll just click on this place, I'll delete. Now I'll click on this plus icon. Either I click on this plus icon or I click on this one at the top. It's going to take me to the same place. So I'll just click on this plus here. Then I'll click on flex box. Then I'll click on this place that have the double. So the double is what I'll click on. Now at the top here, at this place, I'll be adding a text, while at this other place, I'll be adding some design. So before I do that, before I add all those color and design, I want to change some things and write some things and some things like that. So what I'll need to do is hello, can you guys hear me? Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to add some things here. Now I want to add some things in this page here. So what I will need to do is, from this my element tab here, from this my element tab, I can now add what I want to add. So I want to add a text. I'll click on this plus at the top. I'll come and speak the text and paste the text here. So let's say I want to write this, I'll just drop it here. So this is the text I want to add. I can add this text. Then I'll go to style. Let's say I want to change the color to black. Sorry, I was not sharing the screen all the while. I didn't know. So I'm so sorry for that. So once you come here, you go to this place, you see color, text color. Then you can select the black color. So you see, then you can also come to this place, you see typography. Then from the typography, you click on this. And also, let's say I want to pick popping. I'll just write pick poppings like this. Right? So I can select the family. I can also select the size. Maybe I want it to be 30 or 40 or this, depending on the size I want, right? So I will select the size. Then I can also select the weight. Let's say I want it to be bold. Then on this right hand side, let's say I want to add another thing. I'll click on this plus here. Then I'll click on, I'll search, maybe I want to add an image. I'll just click on the image, I'll add the image. Then I'll click on this plus here. I'll add this image and click on enter. So this will be the image. So this will be my design and the rest, right? So let me delete this and just go over it again. So I'll just delete this and go over it again. So let's build this website from scratch. Everything we're building here will be from scratch. So let's delete this. So let's look at everything now. Click on this plus icon. Click on this area. So we have added that. Now the layouts basically control the structure of this container. So the layout control the structure of this container. Then we have the style. We can use it to change the color, the look, and the feel of this container. So let me show you what I'm trying to say. So once I click on layout, let's go to layout. Then I go to this place, you see height, and I increase the height. What do you notice? You see the container height is increasing as I increase the layout. The container height is increasing as I increase the layout. Now, you can decide to increase the layout to, like, well, let's say 700, or you can change it to VH, vertical height. And once you click on vertical height, just keep it at 100, which is the maximum vertical height. So once you leave it at 100, this is it. Now what we want to do, we want to add a text on the right-hand side and also add an image on the left-hand side. So what do we need to do? Click on this plus icon here. So once you click on this plus icon, now the next thing you need to do is to search for fancy text. So I can just come here to this advanced and drop it here. So once I drop it there, so I want to put some text here in this area, like we create the amazing plugins. If you are into maybe a web design agency, you can now say we create. So this is the fancy or advanced text. So how do we use this? Very simple. On the content is the place where we add what we want to add. On the content area, that's where we add what we want to add. Then let's say I have a text I want to add here. So I can just say hello. Hello. So you see that hello will still be there blinking. If you want that text to be blinking, so you see that place, you see cursor. Under the cursor, you see text. So you can add a text for the cursor. Maybe you want the text to be blinking. Then apart from that, we have the prefix text. So now the prefix text will be the main thing that you are concerned with. Like you say, we are creating the, now under that place, the next thing you see the animated text where we will now put the best website, amazing plugins. So let's say I want to add another thing, brand design. So let's say I add brand design, I will have to add it in the second line. I'll have to add it in the second line. I have to add it in the third line, like you're seeing there. I have to add it in the third line. So once I add it on the third line, you will now see it branding. So these are how you can do that. So let's go on with the tutorial. Okay, so this is it, right? So let's now go on with the next. So I'll click on this plus here again. I'll search for text editor. I'll drop it under here, right? So once I drop it under there, go to style here. So I'll click on this. I'll come under content. I'll select it. I'll Control V, paste this. So once I paste this, when I click on this place, you see this is how it will look like. So now I want to add button. I'll click on this plus at the top. Then I'll search for button. Now there's what they call dual button. So I can just drag this and paste it under here. So we can decide to keep it on the left-hand side. Now click on this place, you see first button. Once you click on first button, then we can come on under the place you see text, delete this and write call us. Now on the second button, click on the second button. So you paste it there. Now once you do that, you come to this place, you see style, click on style. Then once you click on style, go to the first button. So we can decide to change the style of this first button. So once you change the style on this first button, how do you do that? Just come to this place, you see first button under style. Then you go to this place, you see background, click on background. Click on this place, you see color. You can decide to change the color to black. I don't know if you notice. You can decide to change the color back to dark light blue or any kind of blue. You can decide to change the color to red or pink, right? So now once we've done that, scroll down to text color. You can also add a box shadow. So if you notice, there's a small shadow at the back of this. You can remove that shadow. You can also decide to add a border to it, like you want it to be none, so there's not going to be border. But if you want it to have a border, just click on that and there will be a border there. So at the next, what you need to see is the radius. There's what they call border radius. You can decide to say, okay, you want it to have a corner radius of 7. So if you take note, you see that it is having a gap there. So you can see that gap. And you can also go to the second button and also change the color by clicking on this background type. You can also decide to change the color. Let's say we are using a dark green, something like this. We can have this kind of color, dark green color for the second button. And also you can also decide to change the border radius. You can say you want it to be like 8. So you can decide to change it that way. or just keep it at 7. So this is how it will look like, right? Now, the next area we want to look on is this area that you're seeing here, the empty space. So you click on this empty space. Once you click on this empty space, what I want you to do is to click on this place you see image and drop the image here. So once you drop the image there, the next thing you want to do is to add an image. So you click on this place you see upload file. Let's say you don't have an image, and click on select image or file. Then you can now upload the file. So all these images you see me using, all these images I'll be using, all the image I'll be using So all the image you see me using here, I'll also be giving a link after this video, after the whole class, I'll be dropping the link to all this image. So let me select this one. Just click on select. Now, if I close this tab, if you take note, our website is gradually unfolding. So what I need to do now is I want to resize this image. Just close this. Now I'll click on this place you see custom. Click on custom. Then I'll give it a size. Let's say I give it a width of 400 and a height of 350. I'll click on apply. So once I click on apply, this is how it will look like, right? So what I want to do to this text is I'll click on this text or this pencil icon you're seeing here. So once I click on that text you're seeing, I'll go to content. So I'll remove this R. I'll just keep it on we create instead of we are. We create. I want to give it a line break. So the reason why I put this BR before the text is that so that it will be on its own. It will not be clustered together. So that's why I use that BR at this suffix text. So once you click close this, you see we have created the first part of our website. So once we create the first part of our website, the next thing we want to do is to create the second section. So after creating this first section, we want to create the second section of the website. So how do we do that? The next thing is to come here, click on this plus. So once we click on this plus, we click on flex box. So once we click on flex box, we select these two parts again, two parts container that is divided into two parts. So once we select that, then we'll continue building from there. So we started with building the first section, which is the hero section, which is the first section people will see when they come to our website. So after building that, we want to continue on building the website. So I'll click on this 6 dots here at the top. Then I'll go to this place you see style. Under this style, I'll click on this place you see background type, the first one you see. Then I'll click on this place you see color. Then I'll use this color hash F6 F6, F6, F6. Somehow that dark is not that dark. It's not like that light, and it's not that dark, like a gray color. So once we have that kind of color, then I want to continue from there. So I'll click on the plus at the top again. So once I click on at the plus at the top, so the next thing I want to click on is text. I want to search for text. And once I search for text, the next thing I want to scroll down to is I want to go to this place you see heading text at the bottom. I'll select it. I'll drop it here. Let me delete this box. Let me also delete this box. So I'll click on this plus. I'll search for text. So this one you see heading with the TT there, just drop it here. Now, once you drop it there, the next thing you want to do is you want to come to this part and delete all this. So once you delete all that, you want to write this here, our work. So click on this place, you see subtitle. So the subtitle will be under. So you can also change this subtitle. So I want to change the subtitle to this text. So our latest project. So also click on this show description. Select all this and paste. I paste that. So now I'll come back to this place you see style. Under the style, I'll come to this place you see alignment. And I'll make it to the center. Then I'll go to this place. Click on this 6 dots. Then I'll come to layout. Okay. So once we do that, just increase this box width. So now once you increase the box width, now the next thing I want to do is I want to reduce this font. How do I do that? I'll click on this pencil icon here. So once I click on the pencil icon, I'll go to style. Once I go to style, I'll come to this place, you see title. I'll click on title. I'll click on typography. Then I'll reduce the size to like 14. So I'll reduce the size to 14. So once I reduce the size to 14, I'll come to this place, you see transform, and I'll say capitalize. I just want that. Okay. So I want to remove this underline. I'll just come to this place, you see content. Then under this content, you see there's a place you see separator of the separator. Then I'll go back to this style. Then under the style, I'll go to the subtitle. So I'll click on subtitle. So under the subtitle, I'll come to this place, you see color. I'll click on the color. I'll change the color to black. Now, after I've done this, I want to reduce the spacing between them. If you take note, if you notice there's a space between them that is too much, so I'll go back to content. So under the content, I will look for, okay, this is our works, and I'll come back here. I'll unlink. I'm coming 1 minute. Okay. I'll go to advanced. Then I'll unlink the padding. Then I'll go to style again. Under title, I'll click on title. Then I'll also unlink the margin. So as I unlink the margin, what you notice is the space has reduced. Then I'll go to subtitle. Click on subtitle. Also unlink the margin. So this is it. It has come close to each other. So once it has come close to each other, the next thing I want to do is I'll click on this plus icon. I'll search for gallery. So once I search for gallery, and there is what they call basic gallery. So I'll try to add the gallery. So once I click on that gallery, it comes with images. But what I want to do is I want to change the direction of this container. So I'll click on this 6 dots here. Then I'll scroll down. I'll click on column. Under orientation, I'll click on column. So I'll click back on this plus. So just click on this place, search for tab instead. I'm looking for one stuff, I'm not seeing it. It's under Elementor Pro. So once you are click on that tab, so what I want to do is I want to select this tab. I'll drag it, I'll drop it under. So once I drop it under, if you notice, so you can have things that we can be clicking on like this. Now, but this is not what I want. This is not what I really want. So what I will do is I'll click on this place you see publish at the top. So once I click on publish, I'll click on this 3E at the top, the logo of Elementor. Then I'll click on exit to WordPress site. So I'll be coming back here to continue the work. So there is some little settings I want to do on Elementor. So let's click on this place you see W at the top. So once you click on this W, scroll down and look at where you see Elementor. Click on settings. So once you click on settings, come to this place you see advanced. Now once you click on advanced, just click on enable this unfiltered file upload enable. Then click on save changes. Then go to features. Under the features, there's something I want us to do. Scroll down and click on this place you see active container. Then click on this nested element and click on active. Then click on this place you see save changes. Now I want us to go back to our pages. Click on all page. Then under the all page, come back here, put your mouse on control and click on edit with Elementor so that it opens to you on that page. Then I'll share this tab with you, the new page tab. Close this. So once you close that, now what I want to do, I want to add this tab again. I'll just click on this, I'll delete. Then I'll click on this place you see and search for tab. I'll drag this tab and drop here. Now this is what I want. Delete that. Now if you notice, the first tab I added, it has a place where you can write things, but this one I added now is just a blank space, so you will be the one to do all the things you want to do. Now what I will do is I'll click on this plus here. Then I'll look for this place you see that has, let me just go with the 4. So once I click on the 4, I'll click on this plus here at the top. So now I want to add some images. So what I'll do, I'll click on this place and add image. So I'll click on this place to choose an image. So let's say I want to add this image. I'll click on this image and click on select. So that will be the image that you see here in tab 1. Then I'll go to tab 2. I'll click on the plus on tab 2. So once I click on the plus on tab 2, I'll also add image. Just scroll down, add image here. So I'll click on choose image. I'll add this other image and click on select. Then I'll also do the same for this. Just image. So just drop here. Click on this. I'll select another image. So I'll also do the same here. I'll just come here, add image, drop here, select this. I'll just add this other one. So these are the images I've added. So all these are the images. Now, but what I want to do is I want to edit this tab. I'll just click on this place. You see tab at the top. Then I'll come here. I want to change the name. So I said we are into branding, brand design. We are into web design. We are also into marketing. So under brand design, I'll come to this place. You see tab 1. Click on this tab. Then I'll change this title to branding. Right? So I'll change that title to branding. Then I'll go to tab 2. Just how do I do that? By clicking here again. Then I'll go to tab 2. I'll delete tab 2, delete tab 3. Then I'll just duplicate by clicking on this. So I've duplicated. So I'll click on it to open. Then I'll change it to maybe web design. So I'll change it to web design. I'll close here. I'll duplicate. Then I'll change it to marketing. Click on this. Come back here. Delete this and change it to marketing or digital marketing. Anyone you want to call it. Marketing, right? So once I change it to marketing, so okay, close this. Now I'll go to style from my left hand side. So I'll click on style. So on that style, I'll scroll down. Now, what I will use this style to do under the tab, you see I'm under this tab area. So I want to change the color of this tab. If I don't like this green, I want to change the color of this tab. So how do I do that? So just scroll down under tab. Then you see this place, you see background type. So under the background type, click on this, then click on this place you see color. So you can change the color to red. See, I don't know if you notice it. You can change the color to maybe light blue, like this. So let's say I like this color, I can leave the color here. And I'll come to this place you see hover. Hover is once I put my mouse on it, what should happen? Under hover, I'll come here to this place you see color. I can decide to change the color to a bit darker of that color once you hover. So once you do that, so you click on active, change the color from active to maybe a lighter color version of that color like this. So once you hover, right? So once we are done, scroll down to this place you see normal. Sorry, scroll to click on normal, then come to this place you see title. Just click on title, right title under the normal. I want us to change the text color to white. So this is white color. Then under the hover color, if you hover, what color do you want it to be? You can still leave it as white. Then we can also go and add icons. So let's say we want to add an icon to this tab. So I'll just come to this place, you see icon. I can change the color. So how do I add an icon to this? I'll go back to content. I told you that the content is the place that we use in adding all those things. So once you click on content, now we scroll down, click on this tab. Now under this tab, you see where you see, as I click on this branding, you see where you see upload SVG, you can upload your own, or you can click on this icon library. So once you click on icon library, so we can look at something that will represent brand. So you can click on this and say, this is brand. Then click on insert. So there's a small, I don't know if you're seeing one small thing there, right? Now we can go to the next one, just close this, come to web design. Then also click on this place you see icon library and look for maybe web. So let me just pick this for design. I click on insert. Then I'll go to the next one, click on marketing. Click on this place you see icon. So I can just look from market. Or let me just say speaker. Just click on this. So let's just call that marketing or insert. Now we come back to this place you see style. So under the style, we can decide to add a color for the icon. So we'll come back to this place you see on normal. You can add white, right? Now on hover, once we hover, what should happen? You can decide to also add a color, a white color. Then on active, you can also decide to add a white color. Now, what will happen if I click on web design? You see, it will take me, and I can also decide to rearrange the design. So I've changed the position of the image. How do I do that? If you come here, you can decide to drag one image to the other side. How do I mean? Let's say I want this image to be at the top. I'll just drop it inside this container. Then I'll drag this other image, drop it outside here. So I'll just drag it at the top. I'll place it under here. I'll also drag it from here and drop it here. So this is how to change. So if I click on this branding, this is what you see under branding. If I come to web design, this is what you see under web design. Then this is what you see under marketing, right? So we are done with this section. So I'll click on this place, you see these 6 dots. Then I'll go to advanced. Then I'll go to padding. I'll unlink this by clicking here. And at the top, I'll just add maybe 50. Then at the bottom, let's say I make it 60 instead of 50. 60. Then at the bottom, I'll make it 50. Can you guys hear me? Hello, can you guys hear me? Hello, ma. Hello. I'm fine. Please, I'm on the class online. I will call you back. Okay, so we are done with the second section. We started with this section, then we go to this section. Then I want to add the third section. So I want to add the third section. So what I will do is I want to show you a shorter way of doing this same thing. Just click on this plus, click on this flex box, click on this column direction, this one. Then go to advanced under the container, unlink the padding. At the top, make it 60. At the bottom, make it 50. Okay. So once you have done that, at the right, just make it 10, and the left, make it 10. So I'll just come here, click on this, click on copy. Then I'll come into this plus, I click on paste. So what I'll just need to do is to change what is here. Instead of our works, I'll save it as our services. Then instead of our latest project, so I'll keep that there, our services. Then I'll go back to this description. I'll change the description, just delete all this. And I'll give it a description. I'll paste the description here. Go back to style. Then I'll come to title. Under this place, you see margin at the top. At the bottom is what I want. So I'll go to this subtitle. I like the space in the subtitle. Then I'll go to description. I'll unlink this at the bottom. I'll just give it like maybe 15. So I'll click on this plus again. So let me delete this. I'm a bit fast with that. So I'll just click on this place, you see plus. I'll click on this. I'll select this. So I'll have a right up here. I'll have an image like that. So let's look at how to do that on this one I just added now. Okay, so I'll click on this plus at the top. I'll search for text. Just drag this and drop here. So delete this, paste this here. Just cut this out. What I want to do is I want to increase this text. Click on this typography, increase the size to 35. I'll duplicate. So I'll change this to branding. Then I'll go to this place, you see style. I'll go to typography. I'll reduce the typography a bit. Then also I'll go back to this place at the top, which you see advanced. I'll unlink the margin. So at the top, I'll just decrease the margin, give it a negative margin, so that it will be a bit close to this writing. And after that, I'll click on this place at the top, this plus icon. And I'll also come and drag and paste this here. And I'll delete this and give it a description. So I'll copy, I'll paste. So I'll go back to this place, you see. I'll click on this place, you see, style. I'll go to typography. I'll reduce the typography to 14. Right? So once I reduce the typography to 14, I also change the color. Just close this by clicking on this pencil and come here, change the font black. And apart from changing that to black, I'll go back to content. I'll also add space from this yet. So I'll put a break, a line break. I'll also add another line break again. So double line break means you want it to have a space like this. So this is what I'm trying to achieve. So you see branding. So we have number one, branding. This is branding. And we have an image here. So we'll go to number two. So we'll be intertwining them or switching between them, right? So okay. So I'll click on this plus here. I'll click on this plus. I'll add an image. Just drag this image, drop it here. So what I'll do is I'll select an image that will be representing the brand. So let's say I want this image to represent the brand. I'll just select the image. So you see, then I'll duplicate by clicking on this. I'll just duplicate this. So now once I duplicate, I'll click on this container, this small black gray, this small grayish with a small box inside. I'll click on it and I'll go to advanced. Once I go to advanced, I'll click on this place. You see order. You see the first is start, the second is end. I'll click on the end. So I'll switch the position. So let's say I have branding, then our number 2. I'll come back to this place. You see, I'll change it to 2. Instead of that, I'll say web design. Web design, right? So one other thing I can do is I can change the orientation of this image by clicking on this image, by clicking on this pencil icon. So once I click on the pencil icon, I'll go to style. So once I go to style, you see this place, you see border radius, I'll make it 50. So if it is not that circular the way I want it to be circle. So how do I do that? I'll go back to advanced. So once I go to advanced, I'll come to this place, you see background, click on background. Or I'll go to mark, let me just go to marks. I'll click on this. So if you notice, it has changed this to be a circle. You can also change it to be maybe flower. Let's say you want it to be flower. You can decide to change it to be hexagon. You can decide to change it to be custom. You give it your own style. You can give it bubble. So you can decide to change it to triangle. So you can decide to change it to sketch. You can decide to change it to cycle, so which is what I use. Then also you can also change it to fill, or you can change it to custom. You give it your custom size, maybe 100, like that, like that. You can decide to change. So let's say something like this. So somewhat, right? So depending on your style you're looking for. So we just come back to this place. We also change this text for this. Change this image here. Delete it. Select another one. Let's say I want this. Just insert. So depending on what you want. So this is just the basics of all you can do. And also you can change the style of this, the size. So let's say I want it to be 20. Right? So you can decide to style it the way you want. So these are our services. We're into branding, we're into web design, and the rest. So we are done with that. I don't want to waste more time here. So once we are done with this, the next thing is to click on this plus, click on this, then come here and add this section. Once we add this section will contain a part where we'll see some of our dream teams. So how do we do that? I want to add a section that have our team member. So the section that has our team member. So I'll go back to the top again. I'll right click on this. I'll copy, and I'll scroll down. I'll come here. I'll paste. So once I paste, I'll click on this 6 dot at the top. I'll go to advanced. So under advanced, I'll unlink the padding. And at the top, I'll give it 70. Then at the bottom, I'll give it 50. Then I'll also go to this place you see style. Under the style, I'll click on this place you see background type, classic. I'll change this to hash F6, F6, F6. Or let me just change it to another color. So I'll have to change this text color. I'll go to style. I'll click on this text, go to style. Once I go to style, I'll go to title. Then I'll go to color. I'll change the color to white. The reason why I'm changing the color to white is because of the background I use. Then I'll go to services. How do I know services? I'll go to this place, you see subtitle. Then I'll click on this. I'll change the color to white. Then I'll go to the last one, which is the title description. I'll click on this place, you see color. I'll change the color to white also. So this is it. And the next thing I want to do is I want to click on this plus. So once I click on the plus, I'll search for theme. So this place you see theme, just drag and drop it under. Okay, before I drop this, there's something I want to do. Let me delete it first. So I'll delete. I want to add another container by clicking on this plus at the top. I'll drag this container and drop it under. So I'll come down, and now the reason why I'm adding this container is there's something I want to do. Since this is a container, I'm adding another container inside the container. So the reason why I'm adding this container inside this container is that I want to change the direction of this container. If you notice, everything I'm adding is going from up to down. So I want to change the direction. I'll just come to this place you see. I'll change the direction here. Under this place you see direction, I'll change it to roll. Once I change it to roll, I'll click on this plus again. I'll search for theme. I'll drag this theme to this place. So I'll just right click on it and duplicate. Right click again and duplicate. So I'll scroll down. Under this container, I'll change it to wrap. Let me just duplicate it again. Duplicate. So this is it. So we have a team member section. So I will have to change this instead of this, our services and what we do, I'll change it to team member. So I'll just click on this text here, go to content, change this to professional, professionals. Professionals. Close this. I'll go to subtitle. I'll change this to this dream team, and I'll also change this no coding skill. I'll change that to this. Go to description, title description, select Ctrl A, Ctrl V. So let me give it a line break using BR. Or let me just do this. If the line break did not work, just pull your shift and click on enter. So I want to add a space. I'll go to style, and I'll go to this place you see title description. I'll give the top a bit so that it will have a space to breathe, like 15. Okay. Now I'll close this. So if you notice this for the theme, so what I want to do is I want to change and add some images. Just click on this. So you just click on this place. You can add the team member's image. Let me upload that image for the team member. Click on this place. You see select image. Let me just add this my image. So this is my image. So we can change the name. Instead of John Doe, I'll just select this and change it to George. So I'll change it to George. So once you click on this, you see my name, you see some of the things about me, my phone number. You can send me message on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on the rest social media. So let's look at how to set all this. So this is George, designer. So we can come to this place. You see under here, you see George. This is the place you see designer. Then under this place, you see social. We can decide to add item. Just click on this place, you see add item. Then we'll click on Facebook. Instead of Facebook, we can change it to WhatsApp. I'm just showing you how to do that. WhatsApp. So we'll change the icon from Facebook by clicking on this place. You see Facebook, the logo. Then we can just search for WhatsApp. This is WhatsApp under. Then we'll click on insert. Then apart from that, we can change this link to WhatsApp link. Maybe wa.link. So we can change it to a WhatsApp link dash 081104549293. We can change it to +234. Right. So let's say we don't have a Pinterest account. What we need to do, we just delete this Pinterest and add YouTube. Just click on this place, you see add item. Then scroll down. This place you see label, change the label and say YouTube. Then click on this Facebook logo and look for YouTube. This is YouTube. Click on insert. So this is how to add. Then we can change this to YouTube instead of facebook.com. You can say youtube.com/@George Digitals. Right. So that will be our YouTube link. Then okay. Then we click out of social. Then you can click on this place. You see pop-up detail. Click on pop-up detail. Then you can decide to say a little bit about that member. How do I mean? I say designer. Maybe let me just get one text. So just come back. Let me just paste this here. So this is just a little information, George Digitals with the empowered creator, blah, blah, blah. So once you click on this, my name, you see this is what you see. Then I'll also change my phone number and my email address. So how do I do that? I will do for one. So let me just come back to this place, pop-up details, scroll down. This place you see email or phone number. Then decide to change it to a phone number. Then this place you see the judge digitals at gmail.com. So this is it. So this is my email to update. So you can close it here. So this is my email, phone number, and the rest. So instead of all these that does not have, we just right click on them, delete, and duplicate this. Just duplicate. So we can decide to change the images for the rest. Delete this. Just duplicate. So duplicate. Change the images and the name just like I've shown here. So let's just leave these other ones. So we are done with this, our theme section. So this is our theme section. We are done with that. So since we are done with that, the next thing we need to do is to add another section, and then we are done with everything. Please, a minute, please. Okay, so let's go on. So I want to add another section before I go into the other themes. So how do I do that? Very simple. Just open this panel again. Scroll down. Click on this plus. Click on select. So we can click on this first one. Then we'll continue adding what we want to add. But before we do that, click on this 6 dot here. Go to advanced. So we want to add padding. Unlink the padding. Go to the top. Give it 70. Bottom 60, right 10, left 10. So padding is the spacing within a container. That's called padding. Once we've done that, we want to do a little design. Okay, so let's continue. So inside this container, I want to add another container. Just click on this plus, drag, drop here. Then I want to duplicate. Just duplicate. Now click on this container here and also go to this place you see layout. These 6 dots. Click on these 6 dots, go to layout. Another layout, change it to roll. So you now have 2 containers. And click on this and change this from 100% to 50. Then also this other one, change it from 100% to 50. So once you've done that, I want to add an image here. I'll just click on this plus here. Then after clicking on that plus, I'll drag this image and drop here. I'll click on this choose image. Then I'll scroll down, select this image, click on insert. Now, if you look at the image is a bit big. So I want to resize the image. Now click on this place, you see choose custom from here, image resolution, custom. And I'll click on this place, I'll give it a width of 450 and a height of 340. I'll click on apply. So once I've done that, I'll click this right side, I'll click on this plus. Then once I click on that plus, I'll search for text or heading. I'll drag this here. I'll delete this. I'll write professional. So once I write professionals, I'll scroll down to this place. You see separator. I'll off the separator. Then I'll go to this place. You see subtitle. I'll on the subtitle. So once I've done that, I'll go to this place. You see title description. I'll on it. Then I'll come back here. I'll paste this. Delete this. Okay, so what I want to do is I'll click on this plus here. I'll add a button. Drop the button on there. Instead of click here, I'll change this click here to ask the offer. Ask the offer. Then I'll click on this place. You see icon, library, and I'll search for calendar. Click on this calendar. Click on insert. Then I'll also give a space between that. Something of this sort. I'll close this. Then I'll change the color of this button by clicking on style under edit button, style. Under the style, click here, change the color. Now I'll change this place. You see professional. I'll click on it. I'll go to style under the heading. And I'll go to this place. You see title. I'll go to typography. Under the typography. Under the typography, I'll change the font size to 14. Okay. So I'm done with this area. Let's just look at everything at the long run. So this is what we've designed. So this is our design. So we are almost done with the home page. So let's continue. This is where we'll stop today. So we'll continue the class tomorrow. Sorry, we'll continue the class on Friday. So let's just stop here today on the home page. So we'll look at how to do that on Friday. Just click on publish. Now, before we stop here, there's one thing I want us to look at. Come to this place, you see tablets. So let's look at how it looks on different devices. So this is our design on different device. Then let's check on mobile. So on mobile, there's a space here. So how do we rectify that space? Just click on this pencil, then scroll down to style. Okay, let's go back to content. Then we can change to center. Then okay. So let's go to position. Okay. Okay, advance. So you see we have changed the width to full width under advanced. Just right click on this and click on this place you see copy. Right click on this and click on paste style. Let's just do that here. Paste style. Also this paste style and this paste style and this paste style. So this is it. It's full width on phone now. So this is how to do that. So this is how it will look like on the mobile phone. So once you click on this, it will come up with a pop-up with the name and the image and everything of the person, like this. So you can see his email, phone number, and the rest. So let's close this. Just publish. So this is where we stop for today. So see you on Friday. See you on Friday. So any question you have, please use the comment section to ask your question. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to George Digitals. On Friday, we'll be continuing the class. So I will stop here for today. See you on Friday. Bye.